It's Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
All right, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get into it. Story number 1, a big one. The findings of the Victorian Royal Commission into Crown Resorts were handed down yesterday. Surprising some, the gaming giant won't lose its licence.
Incredibly, despite a litany of breaches and bad behaviour, the Victorian government will put the gaming giant effectively on a 2-year good behaviour bond. Now, the final report of Commissioner Ray Finkelstein includes all sorts of bad behaviour, facilitating money laundering, links to organised crime, underpaying taxes, bullying regulators, woeful corporate governance. In fact, the Commissioner said it's conduct that was variously illegal, dishonest, unethical and exploitative. Quite incredible. Yet, it didn't lose its licence because it would damage the Victorian economy and innocent third parties, presumably that's workers. What it will get is a special manager to work alongside the board. After 2 years, that manager will decide whether or not Crown keeps its licence in Melbourne. What's it mean for James Packer? Well, the recommendation is that he cut his 37% holding to under 5%, though the Daniel Andrews government hasn't adopted that yet. We still have to wait and see how that one eventuates. All in all, Crown has gotten away with many, many crimes on this occasion. At face value, it's really hard to see why it didn't lose its licence, but the business does provide a big economic boost to Victoria. I think it'll just be interesting to see how profitable a casino it really is when it can't put a step out of line.
Yeah, big story, that one. On to story number 2. On Sunday, the Coalition announced they'd made a deal between the Liberals and the Nationals on net zero. Yesterday, we found out a little bit about how we're going to get there.
Just a little bit. The plan includes all sorts of things, including technologies that haven't even been developed yet. Some of those will involve improving feed for livestock to reduce methane emissions, reducing carbon output from cement production, improving the efficiency of solar panels. It all sounds a bit out there, but it's pretty normal to build technology developments into these long-term models. The government's got 6 priority technologies, from low-cost solar to hydrogen, batteries, green steel and aluminium, carbon capture and soil carbon. There's tens of billions of dollars in the plan for different parts of the economy. And interestingly, it still relies somewhat on gas and possibly even coal by 2050. Overall, the government said its modelling, which it hasn't released, will actually be a net economic gain for the economy.
All right, story number 3 this morning, a bit of news on the COVID front.
Yeah, Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews said only vaccinated international travellers should be allowed into Australia. That's particularly relevant given the Australian Open tennis is scheduled for late January in Melbourne. The number 1 player in the world, of course, Novak Djokovic, is an anti-vaxxer. Victoria's now achieved a 75% vaccination rate. It reported just over 1,500 cases yesterday. And in New South Wales, its surveillance report shows that fully vaccinated people made up 12% of coronavirus cases in the days before the state reopened. Unvaccinated people made up about 5 times that amount.
Okay, story number 4 this morning. Suncorp, the insurer with brands including Aylmer and Aylmer, has said that extreme weather events are hurting its profit.
Yes, it did. Suncorp posted its worst start to a disaster season in 5 years. Hailstorm, earthquake and storm insurance claims so far this financial year is heading towards $500 million. That's about 50% of all the money they put aside for the full year, and we're not even at cyclone season yet. Not all bad news though. The insurers broadly have had fewer claims due to COVID. People working from home means fewer home burglaries and fewer car crashes because less traffic's on the road.
All right, last story for this morning. Story number 5. This would have to be one of your favourites, I would imagine. A pair of shoes selling for a ridiculous sum.
Well, a pair of Michael Jordan's Nike shoes have been sold at a Sotheby's auction for $1.47 million. Now, that breaks a record for sneakers worn in a game. It doesn't break the record for sneakers, though. That's held by Kanye West's first pair of Yeezys. They were a pair of black leather high tops worn by the rapper to the Grammys in 2008. They sold for about $1.8 million. When you're getting these prices, Michael, you've got to say sneakers are kind of becoming fine art, or maybe people just have too much money.
I suspect it could be the latter there, Sean.
Me too.
All right, that's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael.
It's Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2021. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if you'd like a little bit more information, then you can find our longer podcast called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. You can also find more information at fearandgreed.com.au, where you can also sign up for our free daily newsletter. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Have a great day.